Welcome to the Say It Out Loud podcast. I'm your host, Vasavi Kumar. If you're eager to gain clarity, speak with unwavering confidence, and liberate those inner voices, you're in the perfect spot. My mission here is to empower you to break free, find fulfillment, and ignite your passion. You ready? It's time to say it out loud. I've put together a guide of my top 10 tested and proven to work practical strategies and habits to help bright women like you say no, set your boundaries right, live confidently, and build healthy relationships, starting with the relationship you have with yourself. This is a self-paced guide, and I can't wait for you to dig into it so you can start becoming your most confident self, because she's in there waiting for you. Head to the link in my show notes or go to vasavikumar.com/guide and grab it today.
Today on the podcast, I am joined by Vasavi Kumar, who is an absolute powerhouse.
Not everyone is going to like you. That is okay. You don't like everyone. That is okay too.
She is author of Say It Out Loud.
5 minutes talking about my dad who died in May. I know the algorithm is not going to like my 5-minute video. I don't give a shit.
We had an incredible conversation that will really help you create content that stands out, create content that lights you up, that grows your business.
In a matter of less than 2 months, 2 months, I've grown by 41,000. Not every single piece of content is, I hope they buy from me. It's just my own expression because I really want to say it. And I have an audience of people who are listening.
You guys are going to absolutely love this conversation and get so much tactical and strategic things you can implement in your business and as a creator and entrepreneur. Embodied CEOs don't chase trends. They pave the way. They lead from within, moved by purpose, unshaken by noise. When you are the source, you do not need permission. All right, we are live. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Emily.
I'm so excited. We have known each other for a while, but really not dropped in deep before, so I can't wait.
The last time we hung out, we were wake surfing.
Yeah, on a boat.
And you were able to get up on the wake surf, and I barely got up there, but it was fun trying.
And you did like a super fun thing where you actually just rode on it,
I forgot about that. I was just having a good old time, just like we.
Yeah, I think you I don't know what it would be called. You just boogie boarded it.
Yes, that's exactly what I did. I was just going for a ride.
And that was so you. You're like, I'm just going to have fun.
I'm just going to do it my way. There are no rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. So I'm really excited. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start with a little bit about you. Tell me wherever it feels relevant. I know you've done so many things and wrote a book and have so much incredible message to share. But your story and kind of who you are.
So I'll share a little bit about, who I was and what I've done in the past and then what's really most alive for me right now. So I'm a licensed therapist in the state of Texas. I've also been a coach for 15 years. I was a former TV host. I'm a voiceover artist. I'm an actor. I've been to culinary school. I've been to yoga teacher training. I share all of this because there's just so many different parts of me that have made me who I am today and have allowed me to help people in the way that I help them, which is truly their fear of being seen, right? Their visibility wounds, really allowing themselves to put themselves out there and be seen. So I've done a lot of stuff that's allowed me to break through my own fears of being in front of the camera, letting people hear me, see me, all that good stuff. Right now, what I'm doing, because it changes as we grow and evolve, I am still a therapist, I'm still a coach, but I am the founder of the Out Loud School, which is a global monthly membership. It is a gym for your voice and your visibility. It is a practice space for creative entrepreneurs to come and workshop their content, get feedback on their videos before they put it out on social, right? Like, don't you ever just wish before you put out a piece of content, you're like, I just wish I could run this by someone. I just wish someone could look at this and let me know what their honest gut reaction is. So that's what the Out Loud School is. And this is my newest creative baby that I've just put out into the world. We have 67 members as I speak today. And I share this with you today. I'm just very excited about everything that we have going on.
That's so exciting. It's so cool when all the experience that you've had comes into a new project and a new place to support people and expand your impact.
Yeah.
What would you say is some threads of what you're so incredible at and your gifts that you bring through all the different things that you've done?
I think the biggest thing that I bring to the table, I will say I bring a lot of things to the table, but the number one thing is that when someone says to me, I am afraid to put this piece of content out there, or I'm afraid to be seen, or I'm afraid I'm going to lose my credibility if I share my humanity with people. I'm able to not only hold space for that, but I'm also able to offer just different tools to help you regulate yourself so that when you get on camera, when you record that piece of content, you're not like shaking. You're like, I feel solid and rooted in who I am as a person. I'm able to read between the lines. It's not just do this, post 3 days a week. It's not just strategy. We have to look at what is happening underneath the hood, what is happening in our brains and bodies when it's time for us to go be seen. So that's what I really love bringing to the table with my clients is not just a deep understanding of what it feels like to be seen and have more people see you, whether you go viral, whether you have a video that reaches a lot of people or whatever, or you're only speaking to a small audience. It doesn't matter. Fear is fear, right? So I love walking my clients through that process that I have, which is really address it, name it, tend to the body, but do it anyway. We do it anyway.
I love that.
We do it anyway. We do it anyway. Yeah, because it's through practice, right? Confidence is, you can't think your way into being confident. You actually have to do the damn thing, right? So that's why I've created the Out Loud School, which is a really great place for people to practice being seen, asking their questions, getting feedback, being witnessed. And that's the biggest theme that I'm seeing in the work that I'm doing with people.
And I mean, content today, I've been saying we're all going to be a media brand.
Yes.
Like creating content and content that stands out and comes from the heart and like has your bold, who you are infused in it it's not even like an option anymore. It's a non-negotiable for any brand, I think.
Yes, absolutely. Like we all have, and especially if you are running a service-based business, if you're a coach, healer, any sort of provider. I mean, I know you do Facebook ads, like whatever it is that you are putting out into the world, you're still the face of your brand at the end of the day, right? Even if you have a ton of people working for you, even if you're an agency, you still are the face of your brand. So really becoming this person that people can relate to, resonate with, and also be like, oh, she not only gets it, she's smart, she can help me, but she's also a real person. That is what is selling these days. What is real, right? No one gives a crap about the curated feed anymore. Like, I don't care. I mean, honestly, Emily, if you go to my Instagram feed, one of my most viral reels right now, it's about to hit 1 million views. I'm wearing my dead dad's Hanes t-shirt. My dad died 5 months ago, and I'm wearing his Hanes t-shirt. My hair is up in a messy bun. I have pretty shitty lighting, and I'm sitting on a couch recording. And that reel is almost at 1 million. And I've been on like studying it from the place of like, why is this resonating so much? And it's just because I'm just being a real person sitting on the couch.
What was the topic of it?
The topic is how you can literally rewire your brain by talking to yourself out loud. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. That entire video was scripted. I scripted that entire video. I have a lot of experience being on TV, writing my scripts, reading scripts. So not only was that video scripted, I was wearing my dad's t-shirt. I'm using a teleprompter. I haven't washed my hair in 3 days. I'm sitting on my couch with not a lot of sunlight on me, and it's about to hit 1 million views.
Wow.
And I think people resonated with it because it's just like, I'm just sitting on the couch shooting the shit with you and talking to you about neuroscience, geeking out on the brain, talking to yourself out loud. So many people felt less alone because there are lots of people who talk to themselves out loud, but in our society, we deem that as crazy. And I destigmatize that. And I'm like, no, you're not crazy for doing that. This is actually really healthy for your brain. So I just want your audience to know, like, if they're still sitting behind, like, I need to be polished, I need to be perfect, I need the best lighting. Yes, have great lighting. Yes, put on some makeup if you want, if that makes you feel good. But what's really going to stand out is you and the resonance and the message and you being real and speaking like you speak. Like, you don't have to all of a sudden button it up when you get on camera. You can just speak like how you speak to your best friend.
Yeah. And I mean, today especially, like, I see this with ads, I see it with organic. It's like, the more natural and authentic you are, the better it does. People don't want the curated. It's like an instant wall goes up when they experience that. One thing I find a lot with clients and people that I talk to about creating content is when I push them to kind of go into that disruptive space of like, what do you really think about these things? There's a lot of fear that comes up.
Totally.
And there's like this thought that in order to do that, I have to be like mean Like they
Yes.
think that like I have to be mean to be disruptive. And I'm like, no, you can come from a place of love and be direct. But I would love to hear your take on that, because I see that as like the number one thing people struggle with when it comes to creating standout content.
People think that if you want to stand out, or if you want to have boundaries, for example, or if you want to speak with conviction and certainty, that you're being mean. And that is because we are conditioned, especially as women, to not speak with certainty, to not speak with conviction. We are taught to soften our edges and to be palatable and to not rock the boat. I am a very certain person when I speak. Like if I don't know something, I will say with certainty, I don't know this, right? Like I don't have to have all the answers. I also speak with conviction because I believe in what I'm saying. Therefore, the conviction comes through. I'm not being mean. I'm being direct. I'm just telling you like it is. And the reason why I do that, and I want your audience to hear this, is because I don't want to waste your time. So I want your audience to think about it this way, right? Like, you don't want to waste people's time by being vague, by being watered down, by just telling them what you think they want to hear. Like for me, it's like, listen, I have what, maybe 15 seconds to capture your attention, 3 seconds in the very beginning. I am going to hook you. I want you to keep paying attention because what I have to say is going to change your life, or it's going to change your business. So I want people to start looking at certainty and conviction as you are valuing someone's time. If you come off as wishy-washy and like vague, that is going to activate something in the listener's brain also. Like, she sounds really wishy-washy. Why should I trust her? But when you speak with certainty and you speak with conviction, it's like ding, ding, ding. In their brain, it's like, oh, well, she's speaking with confidence and certainty and conviction. I can trust her, right? And then obviously you have to follow through. You have to be a trustworthy person. Don't just pretend to speak with certainty and conviction. But I would say lean into it. Lean into being more certain. Lean into speaking with more conviction. Stand for something. That is how people will start to trust you.
Let's take a quick break.
Having been in therapy since the age of 12, I know firsthand just how powerful the process of finding the right therapist is. Going to therapy and talking things out with my therapist has made me happier, clearer, and most importantly, I have a plan for my mental health. I have tools to be able to communicate with others, and also the tools to cope when life gets hard, which it does. So let me ask you a question. Is something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? Regardless if you have a clinical mental health issue like depression or anxiety, or if you're just a human who lives in this world who is going through a hard time, therapy can give you tools to approach your life in a very different way. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and more accessible. And this is an important mission because finding a therapist can be really hard, especially when you're limited to the options in your area. BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easier because it's online, it's remote, and by filling out a few questions, BetterHelp can match you to a professional therapist in as little as a few days. It's easy to sign up and get matched with the therapist. There's a link in my description. It's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Vasavi. That's BetterHelp.com/Vasavi. Clicking that link helps support this podcast, but it also gets you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp, so you can connect with the therapist and see if it helps you. And because finding a therapist is a little like dating, if you don't really fit with that therapist, which is a common thing with therapy, you can easily switch to a new therapist at no additional cost without stressing out about insurance, who's in your network, or anything like that. I don't know where I would be without the help of therapy and my therapist, but I do know that life would feel that much harder. So if you're struggling, consider online therapy with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or visit betterhelp.com/Vasavi. Thank you again, BetterHelp, for supporting this podcast.
And when you work with people on this, what are the things that you do to start to like build that, I guess, confidence, but really it's also clarity. I find people are like, I don't know what I really think sometimes, or they have it, but it's so buried what they really think.
We just did this in the Out Loud School yesterday. We have 2 sessions a month. Yesterday was the Amplify Hot Seat. And I was talking about hooks. And I was working with members live, one-on-one, in a group setting about hooks. And I had them come up with something that they wanted to talk about, right? One of the women wanted to talk about grief. And so I just kept challenging her, like, what's the edgiest thing you can say about grief? What's the most polarizing thing you can say about grief? What's the thing that you would say, but you would never say out loud to somebody? And she was doing it in front of like 30 of the school members. And she's like, this feels really weird saying this in front of people. I go, yes, because you're being witnessed in your certainty. You're being witnessed in your conviction. You're being witnessed in your power. And that is what is so scary, especially for women. I don't really know if men deal with this all the time, but especially for women, it's like, can I really be seen in my power and not be looked at as a mean person? So that's the process that I was walking them through yesterday. I ask a lot of questions with my clients, and I'm like, how else can you say this? Like, why are you pissed off about this? Like, why does this matter to you? I think asking ourselves these questions will help us to bring forth the truth of what we're really trying to say.
Yeah. And I think this is so important as creators, because I feel with AI, we're going to lose this unless you intentionally focus on it. Contemplation of like, what do I really think? And I saw this guy speak, and he talked about, I can't remember his name, but he's well known, and I should remember his name, but I don't. But he was like, I just sit myself in my office with no electronics, nothing, and I just almost, he said, I torture myself of like, what do I really think about whatever it is, and contemplate and bring that out. And he also said, everybody wants to be a thought leader, but no one has an original thought. And I just feel like prioritizing that today is so essential, because it's really easy to like immediately turn to ChatGPT and then have it tell you what you think. And that white space to do that, I believe, is going to be critical for creators to do what you were doing for your students, but you can also do that, on your own thinking. I'm sure you do that with your content creation. I know I do that. Like, I sit there with a blank piece of paper, and it's like, what do I think? Or I'm driving and I'm, thinking things and allowing myself that creativity.
Before I ever go to ChatGPT, I've trained my brain to just think in hooks and stories. And it's just the way I've trained my brain. For me, the way you open anything matters, right? Like, your first 3 seconds, like how you start off is the most crucial part, I think, and how you end, but really how you start off. So I think in hooks. And before I ever go to ChatGPT, I'll ask myself, like, what do I really want to say about this? Like, what's the thing that feels terrifying for me to say? What's the thing that feels arrogant to say? I have this reel right now that's going viral or whatever, and I come off a little bit arrogant in the beginning. For some people, I start off by saying, I don't mean to toot my own horn, and then I go on to toot my own horn. It's very triggering for a lot of people to see a woman that confident and certain about who she is as a person. And I'm noticing the comments, and I'm like, wow, this really pissed off a lot of people, but this also empowered a lot of people. So my advice to your audience is, think about the thing that you would like, you don't want to come off this way, but it's like, maybe that's exactly the thing that you need to say to hook people. Right? Like, I didn't mean to come off as arrogant, but I came off as arrogant, but the message still sticks. And like, you should see the comments on there, right? It's split. People are like, you're so arrogant. You're so this. I would never talk to you. You seem really judgmental. Someone else is like, yeah, I'm just like you. Like, I totally resonate with this message. Here's the point that I'm trying to make. Not everyone is going to like you. That is okay. You don't like everyone. That is okay too, right? So it's just really about allowing yourself to play with your voice. This is something that I really attribute to my voiceover training. We have to play with our voice. Our job is to bring a script to life. So have fun with how you say things. Have fun with how you record your hooks or start off your videos. But going back to your original point, before you ever go to ChatGPT, sit down and ask yourself, like, why do I give a shit about this? Why do I care about this? Why does this matter to me? And allow yourself to get a little bit revved up almost, like get that passion out of you so you don't sound basic and vanilla.
Yeah, I love that. And I love what you said earlier on do it anyways, because that's kind of coming up for me is like when I talk to people about this, you can give them all this advice.
Yeah.
And then they still hit that point where they're scared to hit post. And it's like, that is the moment that it's like, you just do it anyways. And you walk away from it and you just like, let it go. And through the experience of doing that, you then get better at doing it.
And I want to add to this, if it's hard for you to hit post and just walk away, do what I do. I batch all my content. That helps me. I don't feel like recording videos every single day. I pick maybe 2 days a week where I batch 4 to 5 videos. I'll give them to my assistant, or I will go in personally and just schedule them. I set it, I forget it, I go live my life. Right? So there are workarounds to this. It doesn't have to be this dysregulated state where you're like, oh my God, I'm hitting posts. Like, you can actually have structure to your creativity. You can batch your content. You can write your captions with ease. You can schedule it, and then you can go live and just go let your content do its thing. Set up your automations, do whatever you got to do. Like, it doesn't have to be this dysregulating thing. I understand that it can be, but there are workarounds to it. There is structure that we can implement so that it doesn't have to feel like this big thing.
So true.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, social media I find with entrepreneurs, content creation is probably the number one source of overwhelm.
Yes.
Because it always feels like I should be doing more and on more platforms, and I'm not doing enough, and it's not doing good enough. And I find like when I do trainings, it's like people are struggling across the board with the overwhelm of just the not doing enough, the hamster wheel of content creation.
The way that I have simplified this, and I really owe a lot of this to my operations manager, Sarah, shout out to Sarah. I had a lot of offers. I had a lot of different offers because I am a recovering people pleaser and I like to please everyone and I like to make offers for everyone. We have stripped so much fat in my business. We have the school, we have my one-on-one offering, we have another one-on-one offering. We have stopped giving so many like 1 month option, 3 month option, 6 month option, 12 month option. And I'm like, I don't want to work with someone for 1 month or 3 months. I want to do either 6 months with you or a year. We've stripped off so much and it has helped so much when it comes to content creation. So if you find content creation to be hard for you, like ask, like the question that I always ask, and I would actually love to hear your thoughts on this, is like, where are you leading your audience towards, right? So it's like every piece of content is leading my audience somewhere, whether it's a freebie, whether it's my newsletter. We have all of our funnels set up in the back end. I want everyone going into the Out Loud School. That is my main focus this year and next year. We just launched in October. So every piece of content is guiding people towards that in some shape or form. I have found that content creation was very overwhelming for me when I was trying to guide people to all these different places. What about you? Like,
and I think with that, it's like you have a bunch of different ideal customers, kind of, because you're all trying to go to different offers. Someone who's going to go into a big one-on-one offer or a 1 month one-on-one offer might have different, problems that you're speaking to. So by being focused, you're speaking to essentially the same person, and that allows that. And then the other thing I add is like choose the frequency, like make consistency the goal.
Yes.
Not necessarily like I have to get this many followers or I have to get this many leads from my content. I think content definitely can be a growth strategy. I also think it's a massive nurture strategy. It's like you show up no matter what, and you're consistent and you kind of let go of the numbers. Like, yes, numbers are important, but consistency is the most important thing with content. So what's the frequency that you can choose to create content that doesn't feel overwhelming and you can still show up and then you stick with that and you do it anyways, because you aren't going to feel inspired every day. Like, I think if you wait to feel inspired to post content, I mean, there's days I have to record a podcast and I'm not inspired, but I'm able to still do it, Because
you've trained yourself to do it anyway.
Exactly, to do it anyways. Like, I think that is, not enough people talk about the do it anyway part,
We can definitely talk about the do it anyway, because I feel like there's a lot of like thinking about doing it and I don't feel like doing it. And I'm like, your feelings are not facts. Okay. There are days that you're not going to feel like getting up and showering, but you probably should get up and shower, right? Like there are things in our life that we don't feel like doing, but then we're like, wait, why am I not getting the results that I want? So for me, it's like when people ask me like, where do you get your motivation? I'm straight up with them. I go, listen, my content pays my bills. My content gets me clients. Like, this is like a non-negotiable for me. I am in it for the long haul. This is a calling for me. This is not just a fun hobby for me. I am running a business. I am not running like, let's see how this works. I'm just in it. I'm going to dip my toe. Like, I am an all in kind of girl. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to be all in. So I think that that's really that do it anyway mindset for me. I know at least it's like, if I'm all in, I'm all in. I'm going to do it. Like, my feelings are not facts. I'm not going to let that dictate and determine whether I show up or not. But I love what you said about the frequency and consistency. For me in my business, is like 3 times a day we post.
That's a lot.
Everything is scheduled 2 weeks ahead of time. I always have one morning video, one afternoon carousel, and then maybe another neuroscience type video or something. But like at least 3 times a day we post.
Yeah, that's a very high volume.
Yeah.
And that's leading to growth. You guys are seeing so much growth from that volume of content.
Absolutely. And what I really want your audience to hear is that like the algorithm didn't love me. Like I used to get 6 likes on a video. If you go back to my feed, you'll see where my videos started going viral. And I went from 19,000 followers to now we're at 61,000 followers since August 11th. So in a matter of less than 2 months, 2 months, I've grown by whatever that number is.
Wow.
41,000.
And you contribute that to the volume of content and the quality, or what do you think?
The volume, the quality, and I just had one reel that took off and then I repeated the same hook and then that video took off. So one of my videos is at 908,000 views. I repeated the same hook. Okay. And then that video is at 486,000 views right now. So don't be afraid to repeat yourself. I think that's another thing also that I want to say is like, I repeat my content over and over. I repurpose my stuff over and over. If something worked the first time, I just re-record it, or I'll ask my assistant to, download, save it, and then, repost it again. But yeah, 3 times a day is what works for us. It has worked for me. It doesn't feel overwhelming. We're always 2 weeks ahead of time. And I enjoy it. I love content creation. Like I really enjoy it's my way of sharing my brilliance with
It's
the
your
world.
art. Yeah.
It's my art. That's exactly right. I'm a CEO and I'm an artist. So I look at it as both ways. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you switched to posting 3 times a day, was there like a period where you were like almost punished for that? I feel like the more I post, sometimes I don't get as much views. So I wonder if like the algorithm then kind of got used to you posting that much, or
No, I haven't noticed anything. I've
Yeah.
noticed that a lot of my reels, I noticed that one reel that I did took off, and I said, I'm going to create more of these. They're basically daily say it out loud mantras, right? Like affirmations that you should repeat out loud. And I'm like, this really took off. So I just started doing those daily. Those do really well. And I'm like, okay, this works. I'm going to do it daily. And so I record a bunch of them the night before, have them scheduled and go out. But I have noticed some of my stuff doesn't perform well, some stuff doesn't. But for me, like you said, it's my art. If I feel like this is something I want to put out there, I'm going to put it out there. If I feel called to say something, whether it's about pop culture, whether it's about politics, my whole brand is saying it out loud. So I have given myself full permission to talk about the things that I want to talk about out loud. And I don't care if the algorithm punishes me or not. For me, it's not about that. It's about I am using my voice. I'm using my voice. The right people will resonate with it. The right people will know, like, trust, and buy from me. Not every single piece of content is, I hope they buy from me. It's just my own expression because I really want to say it. And I have an audience of people who are listening. And I've been doing this, whether I had 60,000 followers, 19,000, 2,000. I was always in the habit and practice of just putting my stuff out there. Didn't matter the size of the audience.
And that's the key right there. It's like
Yeah.
you're committed to the process versus the finish line.
Yes.
And no matter what, showing up. I'm inspired. I don't create that much content. I'm like, I will
share. I will share exactly what I do. I have a daily video that I post. I love doing carousels. That's where I story tell. I dump my entire story into ChatGPT, or I'll dump my entire thought process into ChatGPT, like what I want the carousel to be about, where I want it to lead it to. It'll come up with my carousel. I tweak the hell out of it. Like, nope, I don't like this hook. I don't like this. I'll edit it to make sure it's like completely sounds like me. It is exactly what I'm trying to say. The emotional arc is what it is. It's like art for me. It's really like telling a story, right? And then I'll always do like some sort of neuroscience or like geeky kind of video about the brain and self-talk, and then have that lead back to my book or newsletter. But I have a lot of fun with it. It's like, how can I share what I want to share in a way that benefits me and my audience?
For sure. I say that to people all the time. Like, set yourself up with your content that you're doing what you love and what you're naturally good at and how you create it.
So you see a return on your investment. So for me, like, it's very important that I get my Instagram followers off of Instagram. I want you in my newsletter. I want you on my email subscriber list, right? So every call to action that I have a call to action in almost every single one of my captions. Either download my freebie, download my playbook, go to my newsletter, or I straight sell, come join my school for $37 a month. I am always leading people somewhere, or I'm asking you a question or engaging with my content. Like, I want the return on my investment.
Time investment.
Yeah, my time investment, my energy investment. And before I wasn't really getting that, but that still didn't stop me. I want to make that very clear. Like, I was not getting the kind of results that I'm getting now, but that still did not stop me, because this is not about what can I get from you in the beginning when you're starting out. It's let me get into the habit and practice of continuing to put myself out there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is organic social your number one kind of business driver right now?
Yeah. I don't know the last time I used an ad. I think I used an ad maybe like in 2016 or 17 when I thought I should. But I don't use any ads.
I love this because it's like there's not one right way.
Yeah.
Like ads are my number one driver.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I also would love if you could have both, that's the ideal.
Yeah.
But this is just an example of like there isn't one right way to grow a business too and have something work. But clearly you've figured out like the volume of content, I think, is important, and not everyone can start there, but the quality of it, and you understand the hooks and the messaging and how to be polarizing. And I think that's so key.
And it's also like, allow yourself to use scripts. I don't talk about this a lot out loud, but it's like I do scripted and unscripted. So, like 2 days ago, I did an unscripted video, 5 minutes, talking about my dad who died in May, talking about grief and time. I didn't use a script. I just talked for 5 minutes. I know the algorithm is not going to like my 5 minute video. I don't give a shit. I want to talk about it. So like, I want y'all to have that kind of freedom with your voice and your content. If you want to record a 5 minute video because it is from your heart and your soul and it's cathartic for you, do it. Right. But I also have scripted videos because I don't like wasting people's time. I like my message to be concise and I just want to get to the point. Right. Because I know that people do not have long attention spans on social media. So I do some scripted, I do some unscripted. I use the Edits app on Instagram. They have a built-in teleprompter, super easy. So I have found my frequency and I have found my flow, and there is no rule book around this.
Yeah, I love this because I would say normally my opinion would be non-scripted. So you're changing it a little bit and challenging me. I would bet your videos, you can't tell that you're reading the teleprompter though.
You can't, because I have experience doing it.
That's the key.
I have experience doing it for years, and I'm a voiceover artist. I'm a former TV host. I've written my scripts. I know exactly how to look away, look at the camera, use my hands. The words are just coming at me, but I'm just bringing them to life.
Because it still comes across so authentic. Because I sometimes see people reading a script and you're like, you can tell they're just reading. Yeah. And that people pick up on as oh, I think there's just a natural oh, you don't know what you're saying because you're just reading the screen. Yeah. But you know how to do it right.
And I want to say to everyone who maybe wants to dabble in scripts, it's just practice.
Totally.
It's letting yourself be free. It's letting yourself play with your voice, putting your body into it, right? We don't talk like this. We use our hands. I'm a hand person. I'm from New York, so I'm always flailing my hands, So when I'm reading a script, I'm just bringing those words to life. And this is where I always say this: play with your voice, play with your tone, your pitch, your inflection, your volume, your speed. We don't talk like this all the time. Don't be robotic. So it takes practice.
Yeah.
So don't be
defeated.
Can't
sound like you're reading. Yeah. That's it's so cool your experience of TV host and voiceover, and you're bringing this all into content creation.
Thank you.
And really, I mean, you've got these skills that so many people could use when they create content, because that's what you need, the ability to do what you're saying with your voice and with your energy. And I mean, it's not acting, it's authentic, but it's there is there's an art to it.
It is still a performance at the end of the day, but not the type of performance where we're coming off as fake. I am still activating my audience, right? My voice, my energy is activating my audience. It is acting, but it's not being fake. It is embodying a persona. It is putting your energy into it. It is bringing a script to life so that when your audience listens to you, they're like, oh shit, I feel something. That's the whole job of an actor, right? Is to embody the character, to be that person. So when I'm using a script, I am just this person that's I want to help. I want to help. And here's the information. Here's the content. Here's how we do it. And saying it in a way that feels friendly, conversational, but also direct and certain and with conviction. That's my voice though, right? And so what I want to encourage everyone to really pay attention to is, when do you feel the most relaxed? When do you feel the most alive? With who? I have my best friend, Sylvie. I'm the most relaxed with her when I talk to her. It's just everything just comes out, right? We all have our natural, authentic voice, and that is the voice that we use when we're with people that we feel safe and relaxed with. You can translate that to camera too, but it takes practice. That's why we have the Out Loud School.
Yeah. Yeah. And so how do you, in the school, sharing a little bit of how would you help someone find their voice, I guess? What are some tips?
Yeah. So for what we have an actual section inside the school just for Q&A and feedback and the content lab. So people will come in and post their videos and I will give them my feedback. Your hook was off. You talked for too long. You need to edit out these pauses. You can speed up here, play with your voice here. So I will give them feedback. Then they will, send back their video again and be here, what do you think of this? So they're getting direct feedback, not just from me, but from the community. Because we're all an audience, right? So we're also listening to your videos and we're telling you how we feel watching them. So it's you're kind of bearing all in the school because you're letting people see you mid-process. So what I really want to say to your audience is allow people to see you mid-evolution. I think oftentimes, especially for social media, we feel like we have to be polished, put together, and like we have it all figured out. But I also think there's something beautiful in letting people see you mid-evolution, just messy, imperfect. And that's what we practice inside the school. So you're sharing your videos, you're getting feedback, you're sharpening your voice, and you're doing it again. And you're doing it again. That's how you get better. That's how you get
literally
better.
the only way.
I was not born this way. And I will say this, I grew up in front of the camera. My father would follow me around with the camera. So when a camera comes on, I'm like talking to it like it's a person. I'm so used to it. It doesn't scare me. I'm not worried. That is because I've been in front of a camera since I was like 4 or 5 years old. Right? So it's practice. It's not like some God-given gift. It's practice.
Yeah, it's the only way. And then it becomes embodied in you.
It becomes embodied.
So natural.
Yeah.
Are some of the main things you see is like people talk too much, or they have like, what are some of the common themes you see reviewing content?
I love this. So one of the things is that people take way too long to get to the point. They have to like give a lot of context. I call it padding. Women do this all the time. We pad our content. We're like, I got to give you the beginning and I got to give you the explanation. I can't just say the thing. Just say the thing. And it also depends on the type of content you're sharing, right? If you want to strap in and tell a nice long story to your audience, maybe that's the time for you to add a little context and nuance and floweriness and just like give all the details. But if you're trying to record a 90-second video, 60-second video, get to the point. Strip away the fluff.
Yeah, it's true in writing too. Like a lot of times you write and then you look at the beginning, you're like, I can just delete that whole thing and start there.
Yes, exactly.
We do that. Yeah.
And I've noticed this, like if I've ever used ChatGPT to write captions, which I rarely do anymore, it's like too long. It's like a dissertation. So I'm just like, nope, we don't need this. We don't need this. Like, what do we actually need? I usually just let my videos do the work for me. And then I'll do a very short caption at the end, just like a call to action. But yeah, like for everyone listening, watching right now, like notice where you over-explain. Over-explaining is the number one thing, and giving like heads up to people, giving like a warrant, like a disclaimer before they get into the thing. It's like, just get to the thing. And once again, it depends on, be intentional about the type of content you're trying to put out there. If you're putting out longer pieces of content, then yeah, take your time with it. But if you're like on Instagram and you're like, I just want to get this point across like 60, 90 seconds, whatever, then cut away the fluff.
Yeah. And I mean that with attention spans today, that's so important.
Yeah.
How does AI play a role in your content creation and just like batching, and how do you use it strategically?
I love this question so much. You're the first person that's ever asked me this. So,
really?
Yeah. You're the first person. I teach it inside the school, but like on a podcast, no one's ever asked me this. So what's my process? So I always want to talk about the brain, and I always want to talk about the body. And so I will think about, and I will pay attention to what my members are saying inside the school. I will pay attention to what my one-on-one clients are saying. And I'll go to chat and I'll be like, I want to write a neuroscience-backed script about why visibility feels so hard when you're blah, blah, blah. Like I will take the problem. I will tell chat what I'm looking for. Like I want a neuroscience-backed script, and it will put in the neuroscience. I will fact check. I will do everything. Make sure like this is correct. And then I will practice saying it. And I'm like, I don't like the way this sounds. I would never say this. Get rid of these M dashes. I make it longer form, make it more conversational, put in more filler words. I don't ever read my scripts verbatim. I've gotten so used to writing my scripts and reading my scripts that like I will just improv in the moment also. But I use chat to help me synthesize my thoughts. Like it's like, this is what I want to write, come up with the script, first draft, and then I'll edit, probably do 3 or 4 edits. And then I'll just plug it into my edits app in the teleprompter, and then I'll record my video. Schedule it.
Simple, like
really
doing it
simple.
Right in the edits app with the teleprompter. It's great.
And content is everywhere. Think about what your clients are telling you. Think about what you're going through. Think about, what your community members are saying, or, whatever. And content is everywhere. My issue is never, I don't know what to talk about. I don't have that issue because it's everywhere, right?
Same. Yeah. It's like in your, I mean, you train yourself to like everything is content.
Yes.
Can be content.
Yes. And the other way I use chat is that I will write my newsletters, and I will turn my newsletters into carousels, which kind of give a sneak peek into the newsletter. And then I invite people to join my newsletter. So if I write like a very juicy newsletter, I will take pieces of that, turn that into a carousel, and say, if you want more, come join my newsletter. So it helps me repurpose a lot of my stuff. Like whatever I'm saying on video is most likely what I'm talking about inside my school is most likely what I'm sharing in my newsletter. Like everything is just kind of cohesive across.
And the repetition, you said that earlier, that's important. You should feel like you're repeating yourself. I think it's important for people to know that. We know everything we're talking about, but very rarely does somebody actually consume everything you put out and retain it, right? Like you should feel like you are repeating core things all the time.
Yeah, like I wrote a book called Say It Out Loud. Every single one of my offers has some form of out loud in it. Like I don't mind that it all sounds the same. I say it out loud in almost all of my videos. Like you will always hear me say some version of say it out loud or using your voice. Like I don't mind sounding like a broken record because I don't ever want to assume that new people aren't finding me. My belief system is new people are always finding me. New people are always finding me, so therefore they need to know what I'm all about. So I'm going to be repetitive and say the same shit over and over and over again. That's how you build trust. I want to be consistent and predictable.
Yeah, because you want to have like say it out loud becomes something that then they hear it and they connect you to that. And that's what you want. I mean, that's how you become an industry leader.
Yes, I want to be known for, if I really want to use my voice and say it out loud and I need someone to just kind of get me through this hurdle or just way of thinking, I want to go to Vasavi. Say it out loud. That's it. Yeah.
So I want to talk about now the brain science and that side of things because you've got your whole background. I mean, that's so much of your content. And I think I saw that video about talking out loud. I saw one of your videos and I was like, I got to get her on the podcast. I've been really into that the last few years. I've gone to 2 Dispenza events now and like really into the neuroscience and the brain. And I would love, like, you're so experienced in that too. And we haven't touched on that yet. So I would love to dive into that. Maybe to start just any like kind of core teachings that you have around it or themes that you seem to be teaching a lot around?
I share a lot around the amygdala, which is your fear center, and your prefrontal cortex. And I talk about that when you speak to yourself out loud, your auditory cortex, which is basically you hearing yourself, you begin to train your body to get used to the sound of your own voice. Something powerful happens when you start to speak out loud to yourself. You're literally listening to yourself, and your body in that moment is like, oh, these words feel unfamiliar, or these words feel true for me, or they don't feel true for me. You can actually gauge your own bullshit. That's what I always say. That's why it's important to talk to yourself out loud, because your brain is processing it. Your prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for focus and confidence and decision making, it is distinguishing like your voice and being like, is this actually true? Do I actually feel confident about this or not confident about it? So, I love the brain stuff because I'm neurodivergent. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and ADHD. So I've always been very fascinated by the brain, how the brain works. Most recently, I've been really fascinated just with the body, right? And nervous system regulation, because I realized just how damn dysregulated I was. So I've been immersing myself and reading myself in all things brain and body and using that to not only just help myself, but to help the people in my school. Yeah.
So the talking out loud, like, tell me how that looks for you. Or somebody on a day-to-day, like literally, do you have like times where you're like, I'm going to process something, or is it like, oh, I need to process this, I'm going to talk out loud? Do you record yourself? Like,
I love that you're asking that. You're really getting in. So I do a lot of mirror work. I do have a 365 days mirror work prompts that I will give you the link that you can give your audience, but I'm a huge fan of mirror work. Louise Hayes used to talk about mirror work all the time, but when people ask me, how do I feel more comfortable in front of the camera? I ask them, do you practice mirror work? Because when you're standing in front of the mirror, your mirror neurons are actually witnessing you, and your brain can't tell the difference between your audience witnessing you and you witnessing yourself. So when you are about to record a video, and let's just say you're nervous, you're like, I don't want to say this out loud. Oh my God, this feels too edgy. Don't do it yet. Stand in front of the mirror and say the thing that you want to say that feels a little edgy or polarizing. Look at yourself in the mirror and actually witness yourself saying that thing. You will become less scared. You will feel less scared because your brain can't tell the difference between if someone else is seeing you or you're seeing yourself. You're still witnessing yourself. Same thing. Right? So get in front of the mirror, talk to yourself in front of the mirror, say the thing that you want to say. And this is a very practical tool for before you get on stage, before you get on camera, seeing yourself, actually hearing yourself saying the thing that you want to say.
It makes so much sense because anytime you like do something once and then go do it again, you're doing it better. Like I know if I do like a specific workout and then I go do that workout again, I almost every single time get a better score because I've done it before. So that makes total sense. Like if you need to practice a speech or something you want to say, and that's how you get better at content in general. But yeah, I never do in front of a mirror. I should do that.
I think it would really blow your mind, Emily. I really do,
Yeah.
because there's something very powerful about seeing yourself. You can't lie to yourself in front of the mirror.
You can't hide.
You
Yeah.
can't hide. All the thoughts that you may have about yourself, maybe not so nice ones, may come up, right? But I always say that my best gauge for self-esteem and self-respect, like if I want to know how much I respect myself, I look in front of the mirror and I pay attention to what I'm saying to myself. Oh, you don't look like this, or you're getting old.
You just say what your thoughts are
Out loud. And then I reframe them in the moment. Oh, you're getting old. Your neck is getting a little loose. You got some gray hairs. I notice myself saying that about myself. I'm 43. I feel like I still look 36, but like I have thoughts in my head, of course, with aging and media and all that. I'll say those thoughts out loud and I'm like, you look beautiful. And I will literally say in that moment, what are you talking about? You look beautiful right now. Like I've had moments like that. I had a moment like that today, get ready to come here. I had a negative thought about myself and I was like, what are you saying? You look fly. You look so fly right now. Like I
love it.
I had to say that to myself because the thoughts in my head were being really mean. And that's why I'm able to show up and speak with certainty and speak with conviction. I actually posted about this the other day. Your content is nothing more than your self-talk turned outward. Right? So if your self-talk is shitty, your self-talk is doubtful,
or victim or complaining,
it is going to come through in your content. So the reason why I'm able to speak with certainty, confidence, and conviction is because of what I tell myself. This does not mean that I don't have negative, mean thoughts. I do. I'm a very mean person. I can be very mean, especially towards myself, rarely towards other people, but especially towards myself. But it's because I'm able to catch it, reframe it, say it, and believe it. I'm like, yep, you are fly. You are looking beautiful today. This color looks great on you. And I have to tell that to myself. And then all those thoughts just kind of silence. And then I'm able to show up.
I love this for so many reasons. I'm totally going to do this. What I love about it too is it acknowledges it. And I think one thing that I have done and people do is they have the thought, but then they're like, let me pretend like I didn't have that thought
just
and
said
like
it to
run
yourself.
from it.
Yeah.
And this is just like, let's just put it on the table. Like,
Yes.
this is in my brain right now. Let's just be real and let's get it out so we can just process it.
Just say it out loud. You're not giving it more energy. That's not what you're doing. You're not sitting there and telling a whole story about how you look this way or you feel this way. You're like, this is what's real for me right now. In this moment, I feel this way. I am thinking this thought about myself. Okay, great. Then you can look at that thought and you can ask yourself, is this true? Do I actually want to believe this about myself? What do I want to believe? We have the power to choose our beliefs, change our beliefs so that we can live a life that feels better for us.
I love this. And, I also think like most of the time, and you probably feel this way too, it's like most of the time people have all the answers. So by talking to yourself, you're just kind of bringing the answers out, like a lot of times when you coach someone, you're asking them questions and then they're answering and then they already knew it. They just needed to process and like get it out. And so this kind of allows you to do that with yourself.
Yes. I mean, I love talking to other people. I love getting feedback from other people, but like I know myself best. So why would I not just talk to myself? I have all the answers, but left to my own devices, if I keep everything inside my head, everything's going to feel wrong. Everything's going to feel jumbled. Nothing is going to feel clear. But when I actually speak it out loud, like I had a money question for myself the other day, like how to allocate a certain amount of money. And I was going to go to chat and I was going to be like, let me ask chat how to allocate this cash. And then I literally just said out loud, I just said it out loud. Okay, I'm bringing in this much money. I have to save aside for this. I got to put aside this for taxes. How do I want to do it? And as I'm hearing myself, the answer is coming to me because like, you already know. I already know what to do, right? So I'm not saying don't rely on chat. Don't rely on your therapist or your coach. Please do all the things. But I always want to put the power back in your hands that you have the answer.
And a good coach, a good therapist does that too.
Yes.
And that's, I at my last event, I had hats made that say, you already know, and gave them to everyone. Cause like, that's just the biggest thing. I think we've been so conditioned that we don't have the answers and everything's outside of ourselves and we're broken.
Yeah. That
we forget that. And it's just that remembering. Yeah. So I'm totally going to do this, talking to myself.
I
do talk to myself like sometimes when I'm working, cause it just like helps me like organize. But processing thoughts, that's a great idea.
Processing thoughts before you get ready to speak on stage, before you want to get started with the podcast. If you're like, how do I want to start this podcast? Just say out loud a few times how you want to start the podcast. Actually speak the words and you will start really with a lot of energy. It'll feel really good.
Yeah. Another question I have, because this has been really something like in the last few weeks I've been focusing on. I'm curious your thoughts. I have been really interested in the difference between the voice of the heart and the voice of the mind. Mm-hmm. And the work I've done, like I mean, you've known me for years. Like I am very like mind logical, can override my body, force myself to do anything. In the last several years has been like learning that connection back to the body. And I feel like I went on this journey where you kind of like swing the pendulum and you learn the body and the emotions, but you almost like go so far into it that you become those emotions and you get so into like the healing and like the trauma. I don't know if you see this today.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a lot of like almost like addiction to healing and trauma.
Yeah.
And we know like we aren't our emotions. We aren't our body. We are, they're just there.
Yeah.
So anyways, like lately I've been learning to try to decipher the difference between the voice of the brain and the voice of the heart, because I believe the heart always knows and it doesn't think, and it's not the logic, and the brain is the logic, it's the strategist, it's the analyzer. But I'm just curious like what comes up in your thoughts on that, because this is like very present for me. And I find that with entrepreneurs and even myself, it's like I can have that initial like, the body and the heart already knows, and it's got the initial answer. And then immediately within like a microsecond, right? Like my brain comes in and it's like, well, this, and then you're confused. And so then you're pulled away from yourself. Anyways, I'm curious your thoughts because this is very present for me.
I love this. So the voice of the heart, it's not even what it's not, for me, it's not about what it sounds like. It's what it feels like. The voice of the heart will always make my body feel like it is electric, buzzing, and expansive. Like I literally feel my cells expanding. I said this to a friend the other day. I go, my cells feel so alive today, because I was making a lot of decisions in my business and in my personal life that were matters of the heart. And I was using, and I like you, use my mind. I love strategy. I love to execute. I love to implement. Let's get this done. But I've been really trying, especially since my dad has died, to connect more to my heart and like, what do I want? How do I feel about this? What actually feels good rather than what is the right thing to do? What's the money maker? What's the strategic thing to do? And it's just been feeling like it's expansive. Like people talk about expansion all the time. We don't talk about what it feels like. It really feels like you are coming alive, like you are growing, you are expanding. So I feel into that first, and then I make my decision and I'm like, yes, we're doing it. And then I let my mind take over. Yeah. Then we get into strategy. It has to feel electric for me. Like for me, it is an electric buzzing feeling. There's also periods where when it's the voice of the heart speaking to me, depending on what it is, it can feel really calm and steady. Right? Not everything needs to feel electric. Not everything needs to feel like a buzzing expansion. It can also feel very silent and very peaceful and very steady. So that's how I've been able to distinguish.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's the feeling, and peace is a big one that I feel when it's like you make that decision from that place. And I think what I see in a lot of entrepreneurs when we talk about like the do it anyways and the not necessarily allowing that fear to dictate your actions, there's like this misunderstanding that those feelings are coming from the heart, whereas like fear is always the mind, right? Yes. It's always the brain going, I got to protect you. You might put, all those things you're afraid of, rejection, judgment. So being able to decipher that, I just feel, I don't know, I think it's one of the most powerful things that we can tune into as entrepreneurs, is because we do have the really strategic brain. But sometimes that can become so overpowering and we just abandon ourselves. And eventually I think that's where the burnout and, nervous system, it's your body's like, you haven't been listening to me for years. Yes. And I'm done.
But in those moments, Emily, that's where we can literally say out loud, I'm afraid right now. Like we should actually talk to ourselves. I'm afraid right now. Why am I afraid? I'm afraid this won't work out. I'm afraid if I launch this, no one's going to sign up. I'm afraid I'm investing all this money. It's not going to come back to me. Where is this coming from? Talk to me about it. Like I literally have full-blown conversations with myself if I don't have anyone available to talk to me, right? Like if everyone on my team is busy or all my friends are gone or my parents aren't available, my mom or my sister aren't available, I have full-blown conversations with myself. So you can actually talk to yourself through those moments of fear so that you are not living a life where you are constantly dominated by your fear.
And running from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I hear when you say that, it's like you're just giving it the space to be.
Yeah.
But you're not letting it drive your actions.
No, not at all.
That's the difference, is like, because you are afraid, that doesn't always mean don't do that thing that you're afraid of.
Yeah.
Usually usually your heart wants that
Yeah.
thing, but your brain's like, no, that's too new.
And that's why we have to really pay attention to both, right? We have to pay attention to what we're telling ourselves, but we also really have to pay attention to how we're feeling in the body. If you feel your heart race, if you feel your pulse go up, if you start feeling sweaty, that is not, and because you're afraid, that is not a sign that you shouldn't do it. It just means you're a little dysregulated. You got to get yourself to a place of calm, grounded centeredness. You have to understand that this is your body expanding. You're doing something new. It's okay. The tingles are okay, right? We feel those tingles when we're about to do something scary or fearful, but we can walk ourselves through it. We can talk ourselves through it.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Wow, this has been an incredible conversation. Do you feel like anything else that we haven't covered that you want to share that's on your heart?
I was actually really blown away by some of the questions that you asked about just how I content create and how I do that, because like I said, no one's ever asked me that. So I really loved and appreciated you asking me my process, because I like sharing my process, because I want listeners to know, I want your audience to know, like, do what feels good for you. Yes, there is strategy. Like, there are things that you can learn. There are things that are repeatable. There are things that you can automate and delegate. But how you show up and the essence of how you show up, there is no rule book for that. That is your God's gift that you have, your voice that you've been given. Don't waste it. Don't squander it. You should cherish the gifts that you've been given and say it out loud.
It's so true. I mean, in so many things, it's easy to get into like, I need to fit in this box and follow Vasavi's exact step-by-step process.
Yeah.
And I'm sure your process, part of it is actually pulling out of somebody what is that unique essence of them, because that's the magic that nobody else has. And everyone wants to be authentic and show up authentically. It needs to. And it's like, that's the way. And you have it. You already have it in you. And you can get, strategies and guides to help that come out more. But it's also cool to see like how you grew your business, how I grew my business. It's just an example of like, there isn't one way to do it. There's so many different ways. And like the boat, you're like, I'll do it my way. Like, I say that all the time. Like, people say, you have to do it this way, or you can't do this. It's like, who said made these rules?
Yeah. Because there are some like really well-known entrepreneurs who have made a lot of money and are really successful. So now we think that they're the blueprint, and it's like, that worked for them. That's great. Take what you want and leave the rest. If something doesn't fit for you, don't do it. Right. But I also have to really make sure and be mindful of, because there are a lot of creators that I see out there and I'm like, oh, I like the way they do that. So I ask myself, how do I implement this in my way? Right. So
Totally.
It's not about being like, I need to do it like them to be successful. The question is, I love the essence of what they're doing. How do I do this my way? So there's no comparison. There's no jealousy. It's learning. It's practice. It's repetition.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's so true with anything you learn too. You learn from an expert, you learn from a master, and you take what you love from that, and then you make it your own and you embody it yourself.
Yes.
And so same with marketing, content creation, business. It's like you learn from people who are showing you things, because we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
So showing you new things, new perspectives, and then you go, how do I embody it? How do I make it still me and align with my values and who I am and my individuality?
Yeah. And I do want to say, to answer your last, you asked me like, is there anything else you didn't ask? I really just want to emphasize, like, you have to have fun with it, and you have to allow the creative process to be messy. A lot of my scripts that I write, a lot of my carousels that I write, I'm laying on the couch with Sex and the City playing in the background, chatting with chat, being like, giving it my story that I want to turn into a carousel. You can do it however you want. Like, find your flow. Laying on my couch with my hair up in a messy bun, wearing some sweats, chatting with chat, creating my content feels really good for me. That's how I do it, right? Have fun in the process. Like, make it yours. That's all I want to say, is just make it yours.
Yeah, having fun. I mean, you embody that. I learned that when we went wake surfing.
I have to have fun, and I have to say this. My dad taught me that. He taught me and my sister that too. He's like, what is the point of getting somewhere and being miserable in the process? So even if we were to go grocery shopping, I love grocery shopping. Not anymore. I get everything delivered. But with my dad, we'd go grocery shopping and we'd have the best time going grocery shopping. So I just apply that in my business. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to have fun. If I'm not going to have fun, I'm not going to do it.
I love that. I love that. And because you can also have fun in the discomfort and in the challenges.
I'm so glad
both
you said
can
that.
exist at the same time.
Yes. I'm so glad you said that, because I don't want people to walk away from this thinking like, oh, this doesn't feel fun, I'm not going to do it. No, let the discomfort and the uncomfortable thing be fun for you. You are growing. You are expanding. That is what's happening. Your body is literally growing. Your cells are growing. Everything is multiplying when you try something new, so let that be fun. Like, lean into that. Yeah. And then go celebrate and reward yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you've talked about the new school, but where should everybody go to get more? Obviously, your Instagram content and the school.
You can go to my Instagram. My handle is my name is Vasavi. Go to vasavikumar.com. Everything is on there. Yeah, you can join the school, and I would love to have you inside the school. It is a fun, safe, supportive space, and we are growing. I am going to actually say this out loud. My goal is 1,000 members inside the school. We're at 67. So let's see.
You're going to do it.
It is already done.
Yeah.
Like in God's eyes, it is already done. It's just a matter of like, when is it going to happen? And I've let that go. I'm like, it will happen when it is meant to happen. And I want to leave your audience with this is like, if you're not exactly where you want to be right now, whether it's financially, whether it's with your numbers, like you need to trust that what you have right now is what you're meant to nurture and support, right? I had this conversation with God the other day, Emily, where I was like, where are my 1,000 members? Like I had a moment. I was like, where are my 1,000 members? Like the school is popping. It's on fire right now. Why aren't there more people? And I heard God say to me, I've given you 67. Nurture those 67. Have fun with those 67. See what it feels like in your body to hold 67 people. 67 people have said yes to you. So that's the season that I'm in. It's like what I've been given, I'm going to nurture the hell out of it. I'm going to nourish it. I'm going to tend to it. So 1,000 is coming. 1,000 is already done. It's happening. But what can we do with what we have right here?
This is a beautiful point because I say you put the vision out, you put that out there and you believe in it and you become the person who can have that, right? The when and the how isn't up to you.
It's not up to me.
And that's a challenging thing when you really want it to learn in life in general, in business, but it is so true. And it's like in the moments too, I mean, you see entrepreneurs who are like struggling or they're financially struggling. It's like, you don't know. I said this to someone yesterday. You don't know, like that launch that didn't go how you wanted caused us to make this decision, this decision, this decision.
Yes.
Like you got to have some gratitude for it and trust that that's the way it's supposed to be. And if you can be in that place and understand you're always going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Everything always works out. You'll be okay.
I had this moment. Yes, it was actually 2 days ago. I was just drinking coffee, checked my email. One new school member came in. 3 hours later, another school member came in. And then 3 hours later, someone else booked a session with me. And then another annual member joined. And I just laughed. And I was like, this is the stuff I cannot predict and I cannot control. I have to deepen my faith. So whatever you choose to believe in, whatever God or universe, I mean, like for me, the deepening of my faith and the trust in something bigger than myself is what keeps me consistent. That's it. I don't worry anymore because I've never had to worry a day in my life. I've had a lot of stuff happen in my life, but I've always been provided for. I've always been taken care of. And I can attribute that to myself, but it's definitely something bigger than me. So I trust that it's all going to work out because it always has and it will. Yeah. And I'm God's child. And that's what I tell myself.
It's so true. And when you get to that place, you're so free.
It's a really great place to be. And I don't always stay there, Emily.
Totally. We're human.
Of course. And I want to say that, like, do I stay in this frequency of faith and belief all the time? Absolutely not. But when I notice myself dip, I know how to get myself right back.
You have that conversation.
Yeah. You have that conversation with God. I come right back. It's good. But it's a moment to moment decision. Yeah. It's not like I'm healed. I'm good. I never have these thoughts. No, it is literally a moment to moment decision to stay in that frequency of trust, faith, and belief.
Yeah. And it's in the little moments that you do it. It's not going to happen in the big event and the big retreat.
It's in the micro moments.
Yep. 100%. Yeah. Thank you so much. This was an incredible conversation.
I loved it. You asked great questions. I had a great time.
Yay. Thank you.
You're welcome. If you love today's episode, then say it out loud. Subscribe, leave a review, and come say hi over on Instagram at My Name is Vasavi. Until next time, say it out loud.